Hi guys! Welcome to March Q&A. I think it's a bit lopsided here. Whoops, daisy, never mind. There was another question. What's your favorite piece to play just to enjoy playing for yourself? Wow, that is so difficult. Whenever I get asked questions like, first of all, brilliant question again. But when I get asked questions like, what's your favorite composer? What's your favorite ever piece on the violin? What's the most, I'm not one to be very decisive at the best of times. I'm very spontaneous. And it depends so much on what's going on in my life, I would say, and on my mood and on what I'm having professionally to perform. So I take that's not what you mean. So it changes and changes and changes so much. Certainly when I felt overwhelmed from a young age. So I did experience, for example, mobbing at school, not the entire career of my school, but there was a time where it was quite difficult for me. And yes, and I remember, using Bach, the solo sonatas and partitas, to get back to myself, so to speak. It really helped me in difficult times. As a child, I'm difficult. As I guess it's not that difficult. It's quite common, but yeah. So you know how much I love Bach. But I mean, to be honest with you, just for relaxation, it could be some fun jig or something completely different. Completely different, even different genre, anything to arrange something. It really, really depends very much on what is going on, what I'm performing, and I can't really give a satisfactory answer to that. But I could do it like this month. That really was sort of at the top, or this week, if you like. Yeah, it could even be doing new repertoire or revising something that I haven't played for ages. Yeah. Yes, but maybe I give a reply to that per week or per month. You let me know in the comments, please. Okay. So the question was, what's your opinion on Schoenberg and 12-tonal music? Is that repertoire you've explored? So I'm gonna go with that question from the back of it. So if it's repertoire that I've explored, I have not learned the Schoenberg violin concerto. However, I have played works by Boris Blacher, Isan Jung, Anton Webern. Trying to think. Yeah, certainly Anton Webern is part, I think, of that school. And Messier. Alban Berg, I started the concerto. I wouldn't feel comfortable saying I know it. So Luciano Berio, that's all later, but that may be looked at. And I've certainly also played compositions by less known composers that sort of came after 12-tone serialistic music. Yeah, excuse me. So I have experience with it. So my opinion, well, I wouldn't say only that I've experienced with that kind of music, but I've also performed music by living composers, and I'm very much interested in that as well. So I think 12-tonal music, it's one of these things, how do I put it? I think if it's too theoretic and is kind of, music that someone that's interested in music and the structure and you read the music and you're all into that, can be great, but maybe for the general audience member, it can be just too much of a challenge. And I mean, I've had all kinds of reactions just by purely performing the Bartok solo sonata, which is certainly not 12 tonal music. So, with any sort of more contemporary, but certainly avant-garde and all of that, um, yes, I think it's depends what angle you're coming from. I'm certainly not against, may I say, disharmonic for the audience member music myself. I've played 12 tonal music also in chamber music. So how do I put this? I think it depends very much for me on the piece and on the circumstance. Personally, I think music that just wants to do a certain system and just bows down to a artificial system, I don't think that's personally so much what I go for. But disharmonious music, and that can be also partly with 12 tonal music, there's some absolutely great music out there. And yeah, and vinylistically speaking, certainly something like Schoenberg is a real challenge. So I'm always up for that. Yes, but I would see it in a broader context, I would say. But like with any music, if you're thinking of how to program it, or even if you did an album on it, how to put it into context, I think that's also playing a major part. So if you just have one thing, it could be, if you're thinking of the general audience member, could be a bit much at once. So this may sound completely crazy, but a bit like a balanced meal, to look at it like that. But I'm personally, I'm interested in it, yes, but I wouldn't say it's my thing, that I'm just into 12 tonal music. But yeah, minimal and serialistic, and then post a modern one. And yeah, um certainly I like the Berg concerto, I like it, but the album Berg concerto, I should say. But in context, I think in context, and not on its own.